First alert weather, let's check out my comfort index for our Wednesday. 8 out of 10 outside for tomorrow. The only hiccup for tomorrow's weather is not as a blue of a sky like we had for today. We're going to have a few extra clouds around. What that'll do is lead to temperatures not nearly as warm as today. Most of us should round out in the upper 70s with a few lower 80s in Michiana. East wind for our Wednesday around 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll wake up to temperatures in the 50s and then quickly warm up into the upper 70s throughout Wednesday afternoon. Latest data with First Alert Weather Feeder Track. Don't get too excited about these clouds. Unfortunately, no rain expected from these clouds as they approach Michiana throughout the late morning and into the afternoon. And for most of the day, these clouds are really going to be thin enough that sunshine should be able to still peek through a lot of these clouds. It'll just give us more of that milkier tint to the sky at times as we walk you through our Wednesday, and we'll rinse and repeat that forecast into our Thursday. We then look ahead to the weekend for our next First Alert, and that is still the warm October-like weekend in Michiana. It's going to feel more like an August weekend rather than an October weekend in Michiana. Saturday's record high nearly a century ago, 1922 at 89 degrees, and we're likely only going to be within a few degrees of potentially tying that record high temperature, so something we're going to continue to monitor here in First Alert Weather. If you're heading out to the Irish home football game this weekend, kickoff right here on WNDU at 3:30 p.m. It's going to be a warm one and a bright game. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s at kickoff. And if your tickets are on the northeast or southwestern side or southeastern side of the stadium, well, you're going to be in the direct sunlight. Sunset not until 7:21 p.m. Sunscreen, the hats, the sun visors, those will be needed at the game this upcoming Saturday, as well as staying hydrated. Our next First Alert for a cool down, maybe a sip of water, would likely head our way early next week, next Monday, next Tuesday. What this cold front will do early next week is take away the 80s and replace them with some 70s. And there's some data suggesting that maybe 1 or 2 days we get close to maybe staying into the 60s for daytime highs. But as far as rain chances go, here's 1 week from today. Next Tuesday, notice how this is not widespread. Feeder Track, again, really not impressed with this system as far as rain is concerned. It really has a lot of dry air with it. Maybe 1 or 2 stray showers. That's about it. We'll have to use our First Alert 10-day to figure out when our next really best chance of rain is. Again, only a sip of water expected early next week with that cold front, but you will notice how those temperatures fall from the 80s down into the 70s, and we may have to lower a few of those days on the far right-hand corner of your screen a little bit lower, potentially maybe into the 60s for next Wednesday. It does look like our next best chance of rain, though, in Michiana would likely come on the heels of next week. You'll note that rain icon next Friday.
Hey, Sabrina Hoover's here. She's got a story about some hometown